$200,000 in tech sounds like a milestone, a clean number, a psychological threshold, a symbol that you made it. But here's the myth no one talks about. For most engineers, the number is not a destination, it is a headline, and headlines simplify structure. The myth is that 200,000 is a universal benchmark. It is not. It is a compensation tier attached to a very specific economic positioning. Without that positioning, the number becomes noise. Let's break down the structure first. When people say $200,000 salary, they rarely mean pure base. They mean total compensation, base salary, performance bonus, equity grants, sometimes signing incentives, sometimes retention packages. The structure matters more than the headline. A $175,000 base with strong equity tied to company growth behaves differently than a flat $200,000 base in a slow-growth environment. Equity fluctuates. Bonuses depend on performance metrics. Signing bonuses vanish after year one. Retention packages are conditional. The headline number hides volatility. Now let's address the deeper myth. The myth is that reaching $200,000 is primarily about skill accumulation. Learn enough frameworks, master enough tools, collect enough certifications, stay in the industry long enough. Eventually, the number arrives. But compensation at that level is rarely about cumulative skill alone. It is about leverage density. Leverage density means your work sits inside systems that have direct economic consequence. If your architectural decision reduces cloud spend by millions annually, your leverage is measurable. If your security model prevents catastrophic breach exposure, your leverage is measurable. If your AI deployment improves revenue conversion at scale, your leverage is measurable. But if your contributions remain inside replaceable layers of execution, your leverage density remains low. And low leverage density caps compensation. Another myth is that time compounds automatically into higher salary bands. It does not. Time compounds only when responsibility compounds. Many professionals accumulate years without accumulating ownership. They become experienced contributors, reliable, competent, trusted within scope, but not economically central. Economic centrality is the difference. If your absence creates instability, delay, or financial exposure, your value rises. If your absence creates inconvenience, your ceiling remains moderate. Now consider market cycle mechanics. In expansion cycles, hiring velocity masks inefficiency. Companies overhire. Compensation bands stretch. Promotion velocity accelerates. Strong execution can ride momentum upward. In tightening cycles, budgets are audited. Band ceilings are defended. Promotion velocity slows. Compensation becomes justified through measurable impact. That shift reveals economic hierarchy. And economic hierarchy determines who actually reaches 200,000. Competition compression adds another layer. Remote normalization expanded the talent pool globally. AI tooling increased baseline productivity. Execution throughput improved. When baseline productivity rises, average output becomes easier to replicate. Replication lowers replacement cost. Lower replacement cost tightens mid-tier compensation bands. This does not eliminate high salaries. It concentrates them around high-leverage roles. Another dimension of the myth is lifestyle expectation. Many professionals imagine $200,000 as financial freedom, but higher compensation correlates with higher accountability. Higher accountability correlates with higher expectation density. You are not paid for comfort at that tier. You are paid for decision consequence. Architecture trade-offs, cost-performance balancing, risk assessment, cross-team coordination, technical leadership under pressure. The number represents responsibility as much as income. Let's talk economic gravity more precisely. Tech roles exist in layered economic orbits. Outer orbit roles support systems indirectly. Middle orbit roles execute core functionality. Inner orbit roles influence revenue flow, cost structure, uptime reliability, AI inference scaling, and security exposure. Compensation increases as you move inward. The myth assumes all orbits pay similarly with enough time. They do not. Inner orbit roles are limited. Outer orbit roles are abundant. Abundance lowers pricing power. Scarcity raises it. Long-term outlook reinforces the structure. Technology expansion continues. AI integration deepens. Infrastructure complexity grows. Security regulation tightens. Data volume expands. But expansion does not flatten tiers. It sharpens specialization. It increases competition for central positions. And it narrows the top compensation band relative to the total workforce. If your strategy is to chase trends without building depth, you restart leverage accumulation repeatedly. Trend chasing feels productive, but depth compounds, and premium compensation compounds on depth. If your strategy is to switch companies frequently without increasing economic centrality, you may increase salary incrementally. But incremental growth is not categorical shift. 200,000 represents a category shift. Execution to ownership, contribution to consequence, participation to accountability. The myth is not that $200,000 is fake. The myth is that it is broadly accessible through generic optimization. It is not. It is structurally selective, built around leverage density, economic gravity, and responsibility concentration. Until you understand that, the number remains symbolic. Once you understand it, the path becomes strategic.